Okay guys, so this video, as you would have seen by the description, is fixing my Elgato problem. Yeah. So, about a year ago, I bought one of these. The Elgato Game Catcher HD. Apparently the best thing since sliced bread. Not in my experience. And in fact, I'm not the only one. If you go on YouTube, you'll find plenty of people. There are plenty of people that say these things are great, but there are also plenty of people that say they're rubbish. But at the time, they were few and far between. Most people were singing this thing's praises. Now, one thing I should probably point out to anyone who doesn't know, the Elgato game capture card basically allows you to record your gameplay so that you can then upload it into YouTube videos, etc, etc. Now this is one of the older ones now, although I don't think it's got anything to do with the age of the device at all, because I've heard that people have even more problems with the newer ones. So I definitely don't think it's the fact that this is an older model. So anyway, when I picked this up, I picked it up second hand because at the time it was pretty much the only way you could get it, because they already had the HD 60, I believe, out by them. So you had to buy it really second hand, and I got it for quite a good price. I got it in an auction. I think I ended up paying about 50 quid, which is a bargain, to be honest. They generally do go for more money than that. It did have leads missing, which I did end up having to get separately for it, but I now have all the leads. However, like I was saying, I've had no end of problems. And in fact, if you watched my stream on Saturday, where I was playing Rick Taylor in Streets of Rage 2, you would have seen some of them problems I was having there. For example, to start with, it wouldn't show the webcam that was in the corner, even though I'd set it up to. Then when I did get it to work, it just kept freezing up, and then there was a lot of glitching throughout the gameplay. And these are some of the issues I've had with this device. And it's not just because I'm streaming and maybe the internet was dropping out. I've had this when I'm capturing it straight onto my laptop. So it is the software. It seems that they're forever updating the software, but every time they send an update out, it seems to make it worse. It just gets worse and worse. Like, this is the problem. Elgato software is, for want of a better word, crap. So, and this is where the issues come from. It will only run on that, from what I can tell anyway. So I've been looking for a fix. So it just so happens I found one. And I found this fix in the form of a channel called Crazy Burger. Now, I imagine you probably already heard of him. He's quite a big channel. But just in case you haven't heard of him, he's a channel where he covers gaming, but then he also does stuff with the family where they go out for the day and things like that, like theme parks, etc. And it's a very good channel. And he basically covered this device that I've now picked up. So I will link his video in the description below, because I'm not going to give you any of the technical side or tell you how to set it up. He's already done that in his video. So I will link that video in the description below. So all I want to do is basically show you what the device is and also test it out. So, right, here we go. It's very simple. You're not going to believe it. It's this little thing right here. Now, I won't say the name of it because I've seen this comes under several different names. It would appear it's made in China or somewhere like that. And they're basically all made by the same company, and they just put their own name on it, basically. I mean, if you look, the device is quite generic. There's no company name on there. And that's kind of blurring. So, yeah. So, anyway, it's very simple. Plugs in the USB, and then the other end is an HDMI. That's it. Doesn't come with any software, just this. Now, when Crazy Burger did his video, he managed to pick this up for, I think it was just over £10, or maybe just under. It was a bit more expensive when I got it, because Amazon's prices go up and down. And I will link in the description below this device, so you know where to get it. Yeah, I paid $15.99 for it, but even then I'd say it was a bargain. So, basically, as Crazy Burger explains in his video, you get this device, Comes in a nice little box and that. And there's a good instruction manual in there actually, which is pretty helpful. You plug it in, you plug your source into it, so whatever you're going to play into this, then you stick it in the computer, and then you bring the software, upload the software. So in a nutshell, I used OBS Studios. That's one of them it recommends. And I did everything it said in the instructions, and it worked fine. The only issue I did have was with the sound, but I fixed that quite easily, and it didn't take a genius to do it. You just had to go in and mess around with some of the settings. But this device is very good, and it runs very well with OBS. Now, if you look up the specs of this, you might realise that this records in 30 frames per second. But so does the Elgato HD, I'm pretty sure. If I remember right, the specs are 30 frames per second, so you're not losing anything. In fact, you're saving because it's cheaper. So yeah, so what I did was I plugged this in, like I say, stuck it in, brought up the OBS Studio, changed a couple of settings, and I tried it out. So it worked to charm. It was great. So what I used was the Evercade, and I basically plugged into it Xeno Crisis. Now, the gameplay, admittedly, is not very good because I was messing about with it while I was setting it up, if you like, playing it. So the gameplay is not great in terms of my performance, if you like, but it's just an idea so you can see how well this thing captures your devices. And yeah, and then we'll have a little chat at the end about it. See you in a bit. Right, so as I said before, we're going to be trying this out just to see how well this device works. And as you can see, the quality of the picture is really good. Sounds really good as well. When you consider that this only cost me $15.99, it's not bad. The other thing I should point out is that when you're playing it, because obviously it then starts using your desktop or your laptop as the actual monitor or TV, there isn't any lag, not that I could tell anyway. It seemed to be spot on. Now I do apologise for some of my gameplay during this clip. Like I said at the beginning, I was messing around with some of the settings as well while trying to play, so there might be like little areas where my gameplay might seem a bit rubbish, and that'll be why. I wasn't completely 100% paying attention at that point. Definitely picked the wrong corner there. Just can't believe how good the sound quality in that is, and even the picture. When you, like I say, you know, when you consider how much cheaper this device is, I mean, really good. And this is real help as well, because if you're on a budget and you want to capture some game footage for your channel, I mean, this is perfect. You know, it does what you need it to do. Very good. In fact, I found the sound was so good recording this that I actually had to turn it down a little bit because it was distorting. So it picks up the sound very well. Okay, final thoughts. Right, so as you can see, this device is very good. It easily performs as well as the Elgato in terms of quality. I didn't really see any difference at all. The only thing I did have to tweak while I was playing it was I had to adjust the game volume because it was a little bit high and it sounded like it was distorting a bit, but that was to do with the software. It had nothing to do with the actual device itself. So yeah, very good, very impressed. I mean, when you consider the price difference here, I mean, if you get the Elgato HD60, you're looking at about £150. And this, you know, all right, it's not 60 frames per second, same as that one is, but this is £15.99. So even if you buy this device, you know, cheapest you're going to get it is 50 quid if you're lucky. And this is the same as this. It's 30 frames per second. So, you know, you're saving money. And also, it's a hell of a lot easier to set up as well because you plug this into your laptop or your PC, you put the HDMI in, you play it on the PC monitor. Whereas if you do it with the Elgato, you've got to plug this, and if I just show you the picture there, you've got ports this end, ports the other end. So you've got to plug your device in one end, then you've got a lead going from the device to the computer, and then the other end going into the monitor. So it takes a lot longer to set up. You know, this you can be done in like 5 minutes, not even that. So it's easier as well. Like, you know, so yeah, I'm really impressed with this. And if it wasn't for Crazy Burger's video, I wouldn't have come across this device. So he did a good job there. And like I say, if you watch his video, he goes through more detail, shows you how to set it up and all that. And he does show you a bit of gameplay, the same as I have. But he goes into a little bit more detail, all the settings, how you get it right, you know. I just wanted to show you that this thing does work, you know, basically just to back up what Crazy Burger's saying. He's spot on. It's a good device, and for the money, it's well worth it. So why break the bank if you haven't got to? So, right, okay, well, I'm going to leave that one there, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.